Hey, what's good? What's good? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I know I said I wanted five. Yeah. I still want the dubs. I still want them dubs. Yeah. Yeah, but instead of five, let me get huh? Yeah, I don't want five anymore. What do I want? How many dubs do I want? Hmm. Six. Still in Nation, what's going on? This your man Kevin, aka KevEze. You can follow me everywhere at KevEze, KEVEZE. For those who don't spell well, make sure you like over here and make sure you subscribe over there. You know, 6-0 feels great. It feels great. Welcome to all the Steelers fans. Since I put that up, now I have to do it like this now. Okay. Like the video over here, subscribe over here. It's the morning after. Hey, man. Great game. Battle of the unbeatens. You know, what can I say? I was pretty much spot on with my predictions if you take away 3 picks that Ben had. But first half I was right. Second half it was more of I don't know. I'm not gonna lie though, but at like what I seen from in the second half, I'm not really concerned. It's our first home game. It's our first road game in a while. Me personally, the fact that we were able to not lose that game after throwing 3 picks and not converting any turnovers on the other side, I don't know, man. It's just amazing to me that we was able to will the team and to the point that kind of hold them off. Granted, they missed a field goal, but I believe if we would have went into overtime, I'm about like 70% that we would have won that game. I know that's not like 100%, but it's 70. You still passed. Well, depending on what state you in, but you know, man. Shout out to everybody, all the guys, man. All the coaches. It was a good coach game. We was aggressive. We came out aggressive. I want to say we threw the ball probably the first 5 times or first 5-6 times. I'm not too sure. I can actually look that up. I'm tripping. The first 5 plays were passing plays. And there was many more. There was a lot of pass plays in this. And it led to a touchdown. 18-play drive, 9 minutes for a touchdown. You gotta love that. Tennessee, their first drive, we was able to, you know, get them out of there, 3 and out. Our second drive was in the second quarter. That's how much time we took up, man. Our second drive started in the second quarter, where it was 13 plays for 7 minutes and 5 seconds that was a touchdown. And then that's when the Tennessee came back, had their little touchdown run, whatever. But as you can see, we was controlling the clock for the most part. And a team that can control the clock on the road the way we did for the first half, even to some degree the second half, because it's not like the second half was terrible. It was just like Tennessee will make a play. They'll just make a play. You know, one play. They made 3 plays, maybe 4. But they made like 3 plays in the second half where it was like significant. So you can't take anything away from Tennessee. But Tennessee, we was able to exploit their defense like in the middle of the field. Big Ben didn't really have it. He had a good day, but he didn't. He had to watch the game to be like, all right, he really didn't have a bad game. It was just 3 unfortunate incidents. Ben went 32-49 for 268, 2 tubs, 3 interceptions. Shoot. But he didn't get sacked, though. So shout out to the O-line for that. They kept Big Ben right. He was able to get the ball out anytime. Sometimes the ball got batted down. I commend the Titans for, accepting that. Like, we're not going to get to him, so we're just going to try to bat the ball down. And they were successful a few times in the game. James Conner, 20 carries for 82 yards, 4.1, no touchdowns. He had a 24-yard run. He was targeted 5 times and had 3 receptions for 29 yards. That was a good day. That was a good day for him. I felt like we could have probably, I don't know, man. I felt like his 20 carries, he should have had more carries. I don't want to say should have, but I felt like he could have had more carries. But I'm not mad at 20. He can cap out at 20. But not that many people had a carry other than him. McFarland had 1 carry. Samuels had 1 carry. Benny Snell had 2, but Benny Snell ended up scoring on that second drive, I believe. Big Ben had a rush, but that was like I think he nailed it. Yeah, that's what it was. So don't count Ben. Our receivers, going back to what I said earlier about kind of like exposing the middle of their field. 3 guys took that, like they got a lot of food. It was like a nice spread. They was able to eat and ultimately get some things done. Juju and Deontay Johnson had 9 catches apiece. 85 yards for Juju, 80 yards for Deontay, but Deontay had 2 tubs. Shout out to Deontay. Eric Ebron also benefited, having a lot of key catches. I want to say, I don't know at the top, but he had a lot of key catches. But he had 6 catches for 50 yards, and he was another one that took, advantage of the middle. James Conner had 3 catches, like I said before. Vance McDonald had 2 catches for 14. Ray McLeod had 2 for 12. Claypool had 1 for -2. And you hearing that, you're like, dang, Claypool, he only had 1 catch? Wait a minute, I didn't hear James Washington. That's because to what Tennessee defense was doing, they had their safeties pretty much kind of deep for most of the game, if not all the game, to make sure we can't take the top off the defense, So they had those guys kind of deep. So it kind of took away James Washington, and to some degree not really some degree, he only had 1 catch, but it took away from, Chase Claypool as well, because James Washington, he normally runs deep routes, and Chase, he has his deep routes and stuff like that. And that's where you have Deontay, Juju, Eric Ebron, and James Conner sometimes, just eat that up. So he was able to always move the ball, and everyone was able to kind of put things together. I'm watching the highlights again right here, and I saw Ben underthrow Chase Claypool for 1. That would have been good. If he let him, that would have been a touchdown. But that was also pass interference as well. But if Ben probably put a little bit more under that would have been a touchdown clean. Let me see. And I think that's all I want to speak on about the offense. The offense, they started off hot. They fizzled out towards the end. It wasn't I wasn't really concerned about it, because I felt like if we went into overtime and we got the ball in our hands, we was going to put 6 on the board. We was going to end up putting 6 on the board and going home with a dub, and we already, we went on with a dub anyway. But so if I have to grade the offense, the fast start to me is a big plus, especially on the road. So that gets a lot of points. The third and fourth quarter, I believe we only only had 3 points in the second half. So I would have to give our offense a B, a solid B. I think that first half was significant. Like if we had one more touchdown, if say Ben didn't throw that pick at the end of the second quarter and that was a touchdown, I honestly believe that the game was over. It wouldn't have been no comeback like that from the Titans. It would have been short-lived. But I would have to give the offense a B. I can go with B minus, but I'm gonna go with B because like I said, I think the first half was significant. 7 points in the first quarter, 17 in the second quarter. That's big on the road. So shout out to the defense. My MVP for the defense. Shout out to the offense. My MVP, the player of the game on the offensive side, would have to go to the man that missed the last week and a half, kind of. Deontay Johnson came back. Like I said, he had 9 for 80. 2 touchdowns. 2 big touchdowns. So shout out to him. One of the first touchdown, Ben threw a dart. The window was probably about like this big. Like that big. Like just enough to fit that thing in there. And Deontay was able to focus, grab it like a pro. Touchdown, you know? That was number one. The second one, he hit. I don't know who the defender was, but he hit him off for something smooth. Caught it. Boop. Spin. He was out of there, man, for another touchdown. So shout out to Deontay Johnson. Welcome back. You know, let's go on to the defense. Now, our defense was great in the first half. In the second half, it was more like they were on the field too long because the offense was turning the ball over. The defense is not going to, take any. They're not going to use any excuse as far as that because they feel like no matter how many times they're out there, they can stop somebody. But in all reality, that's what it is, man. When you have the ball for a long time, the defense is going to get tired. And if your offense is turning the ball over, your defense is going to give up a big play. And we did give up a big play or 2 or 3. The Titans with Tannehill, he was able to have a kind of clean game. 18 for 30, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. We didn't get a pick today, and he was sacked twice. So our defense only mustered 2 sacks. 2 sacks, one of them being from Vince Williams when he clapped Tannehill. Boom! Clapped him. And the other one was by TJ Watt. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was another big one. We didn't get any picks, but we could have had, when I was watching the highlights right afterwards, so I was able to kind of watch it again. In the highlights alone, the first 7 minutes, our defenders dropped 5 picks. 5. I counted 5. I'm not going to. Minka dropped 2. Joe had 1, I think. Let me see. Terrell Edmonds, I think he dropped 1. And who's the other one? I had it down because I was like, yo, man. I was texting my friend. I was like, yo, what the heck? Yeah, Cam Sutton. He was the other one. And shout out to Cam Sutton. Shout out to Robert Spillane. I'm going to talk about both of y'all right now. Y'all came in. Y'all had to fill in some big shoes. Cam Sutton more Robert Spillane than Cam Sutton because Cam Sutton is capable of actually starting in that position. But Mike Hilton has that one thing about him that's dynamic that Cam Sutton don't have. But when Cam Sutton is in, he's very, very capable and formidable to actually make something happen. And Robert Spillane, to be able to take over for Devin Bush, last week had 5 tackles. This week you had 3 tackles, but one of them was significant. Granted, they ended up scoring because Minka gave them fresh downs. But let's go back to the hit. He stuck Derrick Henry. A lot of defenses probably wouldn't have done that. They probably would have said, all right, he's here. We just going to let him score. But we wasn't off that. Robert Spillane said, yo, it's all or nothing. I have nothing to lose. You banged him. TJ Watt came to help right after the initial bang. Stood him up. Sat him down. Highlight for him. And I know that builds his confidence going to next week. And we was able to see Gilbert come in as well. Mike Tomlin spoke on that, and he was talking about how he didn't want to have Spillane playing north of 40 snaps or nothing too crazy, where he to the point that he's exhausted and they start really exposing him. So he wanted to keep him around 40 and get other guys in the mix, which is good, which is pretty good. You know, I like that way of thinking, and you know that's why coaches coach. Let me see. Let me get back to the thing. What else I miss on defense? Like I said, I really can't get. Well, no. It was a few misplays. I felt like the long AJ Brown play, touchdown, the 75-yard, I believe. Minka took a bad angle, a terrible angle. I felt like he could have stopped him. Shout out to Minka though. It was, you know, it's football. It's football. You're not gonna make every play, but though that it was happening. And it doesn't look right because I'm so used to seeing the Steelers making those tackles, you know. So it was a couple of those. There was a couple of things that was a little crazy in that regard. But overall, the defense was able to travel to Tennessee. They was able to. Derrick Henry had, how many carries he had? Derrick Henry had 20 carries for 75 yards, 1 touchdown, which, you know, he wouldn't have had if he didn't have, you know, a fresh set of downs. But he averaged 3.8 yards a carry. So the defense pretty much shut him down. And our offense helped as well by having long drives and keeping him off the field. But the man wasn't able to really affect the game how the Titans would want him, and made Ryan Tannehill throw a little bit more. But he was able to actually capitalize on some things. But our defense, man, when they get the banging, boy. They can put fear in the team, man. Shout out to Vince Williams. He led the team with 9 tackles. You know, like I said, nothing really splashed outside of that Robert Spillane play. But it was solid all around. If I have to give a grade for the defense, I will grade the defense on. I'll give the defense a B as well, because they were able to stop their number one focus, which was Derrick Henry. They was able to stop him, but at the same time, they missed a few opportunities where I felt like the Titans wouldn't have had 24 points. You know, but like I said, the offense is turning the ball over, so you got to think about that as well. That comes into play. The defense don't want to hear that, but, you know, they have to think that way. You know, they're playing. They have to think that way. And I know it's a lot of positives they can take out of this. The offense as well. But like I said, I'll give the Steelers defense a D. I mean, excuse me, not a D, a B. And my defensive player of the game will have to be Vince Williams. Shout out to Vince Williams, the 9 tackles, assisted on 1, and he had a sack. A big hit on Ryan Tannehill. So shout out to Vince Williams. And like I said, again, shout out to Robert Spillane. Shout out to Cam Sutton. Shout out to everybody that comes in and fill in. And it's really like plug and play with our team. And that goes to the coaching. So shout out to Mike Tomlin and them. Got the 6-0. 6-0. 60. Got the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens coming up. This is it. This is it. Because after the Baltimore Ravens, we can possibly go and win 3 more games. Because the next 3 opponents is not really that that good. It's not really that good. I can kind of tell y'all who it is. After Baltimore, we have Dallas. Well, Dallas is trash. We have the Bengals, who they're good, but they just can't win games. I'll take it back. They're not that good. They're decent. You know, it's not like a pushover like I think Dallas will be. Dallas is going to get smoked, but we're going to get into that in 2 weeks. And then after that, we have Jacksonville right before we have Baltimore again. And then, you know, we'll get to the rest of the games down the line. But the Steelers can possibly go 10-0 if we beat Baltimore and going back to Baltimore. So, great win, Steelers. Oh, yeah, let me talk about special teams for a minute. Shout out to Ray McLeod. But, bro, watch the film. Watch the film. Because you can have, it's time, you can have a lot of, well, I can't say a lot of touchdowns, but you were supposed to score on that one, bro. You were supposed to score on that one, man. But shout out to you, man. You're a big spark. The Steelers haven't had a big spark on kickoff, like a big kickoff returner, since probably Allen Rossum. And I can't really talk about punt return right now, but definitely kickoff return. Like, we haven't had someone back there that can really do that in a while. I can say that about punt, but because we had, AB and stuff like that. But shout out to the gang. 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. Make sure you like and make sure you subscribe and make sure you just stay tuned, man. Steelers for 7 live. I'm going to be going live in between Tuesday and Thursday, sometime between there. Steelers for 7 podcast will be out Friday. We moving, man. Ravens, next.